Good evening to my colleagues, Senator the Honourable Donna Cox, Minister of Social Development and Family Services, Minister Simon de Nobrega, Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Communications Division, Minister Adrian Leons, Minister in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, to Chairman Michael Kwamina, Chairman of TPHL as well as Heritage, to the other members of the board of TPHL and the various subsidiaries that are here, to the CEO, Ms. Arlene Chow, and her husband, who I met tonight, to all of the specially invited guests, and most importantly, to the people who make up Heritage Petroleum Company Limited. Good evening. It is indeed a pleasure and a privilege to stand here today to be given the opportunity to present you with just a few of my thoughts as I sat there and as I was reflecting on what was the conversation that I would like to have with you, the people who have kept Heritage going in a very volatile industry. And I'd like to start by just setting us in the global context of what is going on in this global energy sector. And one only needs to look at the last 9 months in world events to understand how it is that you all need to operate. 9 months ago, the world conversation with respect to energy was directed going into COP26 at a reduction of hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons was the evil word that was taking place in the world. At COP26, people were looking at how to eliminate the use of hydrocarbons. The irony of that is that on the way to COP26, and some of you who've interacted with me within recent times would have heard this story, bear with me as I give it again. On the train heading into Glasgow for COP26, one only needed to look on the hillsides in Scotland and see that the wind turbines were not moving. The world of renewables was in crisis in Europe. At that precise moment, the price of gas had risen, and the price of gas had risen. Some countries were looking at restarting coal plants, the major hydrocarbon polluter in the United Kingdom and other areas of Europe that were already on their way to being decommissioned. Fast forward to the end of February of this year, and you had the crisis begin in Ukraine with Russia that has had a monumental effect, but at the same time presented an opportunity for us here in Trinidad and Tobago, and in particular for you, the employees of Heritage. We must find balance. So as the chairman and as the CEO put it, and I'm going to repeat it because I've been repeating it globally at every meeting, at all sorts of panel discussions, but also bilateral meetings all over the world. We in Trinidad and Tobago have been blessed. We should not shy away from the fact that we are a hydrocarbon-based economy. However, we must balance it because we recognize that we have a responsibility as we go towards decarbonization and a reduction of the greenhouse gas harmful emissions that are taking place. And you at Heritage have a very important role to play, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but globally in how you do business going forward. The global setting right now is ripe, and we must make hay whilst the sun is shining. There are opportunities. I was reflecting in April 2020, on that day, when I was speaking to the then Minister of Energy, God rest his soul, Minister Khan, the Honourable Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance throughout the course of the day as we watched the plummeting of global oil prices, as the chairman reminded us. To reach net zero in pricing with WTI meant that theoretically people were paying others to come and take the oil away. That was the first step in resilience. Today, we're looking at WTI prices of over $122 a barrel. I can say that I was there at the birth and the inception of the concept of heritage. And I feel a real sense of pride as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago to see what you, the employees, under the astute, dedicated leadership of the board and the CEO, have managed to do with heritage in a very short period of time, in a very volatile world, struggling through a global pandemic that is COVID-19, but also the volatility that affects the oil prices. I thank you. I thank each and every one of you, and I thank your family members who have accompanied you and supported you through this very difficult and volatile time. But you are now moving into a new chapter. You've birthed a company in November, the 1st of December, 2018. This year you'll celebrate 4 years. You have gone through the teething that you need to, and now is time for you to run, and to run hard. And as the Minister of Energy and Energy Industries, and more importantly as a citizen, I've come here tonight not only to thank you, but to ask that as you inspire yourselves and each other, you understand that the country and the future of our generations are literally depending on what you can do to deliver more production in a safe environment and an increased production at a very volatile time in the global energy sector. Going into COP26 last year, the conversation was, when do the taps close on oil? And we were looking at a horizon of 2030. With what is going on right now in Russia and Europe and other European countries and others weaning themselves off of the Russian hydrocarbons, it won't last forever. It is important that we do what we can to contribute and that you do what you can to increase production. And that is one of the messages. We are counting on you to increase production. So as you sit here tonight and as we celebrate you, rightly so, for what you've done in the last 4 years, I'd like you to reflect on how do you move the company forward in a new direction at a very fast pace. Because I can tell you, globally, those of you following it would have seen this morning the news reports of President Biden in the United States telling oil companies, produce more. Last week in Los Angeles, President Biden was addressing the leaders. I was present in the leaders' lunch, and he was talking to the Western Hemisphere leaders of the importance of hydrocarbons, whilst we do the balancing on the reduction of carbon and greenhouse gases. Heritage, the time is perfect for you. You have opportunities, maximize them, utilize these opportunities. We thank you for what you've achieved so far, and that's what tonight is about. But as you look at the inspirational work you've done, let it propel you forward in a very quickly changing environment. Just look at the last months in the energy sector and understand how quickly the environment you're operating in can change. From $0 oil to $122. Minister in Finance and myself debating with each other just a few short months ago whether oil would cross $115 and whether it would be maintained. I plead with you, do all that you reasonably can to exploit our oil reserves in a safe manner, and let that continue to drive the revenue stream. Utilize the new technologies that are available. Continue to inspire and look after each other. As a citizen, once again, I thank you for what you've personally done to help our fellow citizens in very difficult times. Your CEO, Arlene, was mentioning to me as I was getting up to come up here, the amount of money that you, the employees, took out of your pockets in those difficult times of COVID to help others as a contribution from Heritage. Over $250,000. Congratulations and well done. And I feel certain that each of you as individuals would have even done more as you recognize the difficulties that fellow citizens were going through at this time. Heritage, tonight is your night. Enjoy it. You deserve it. You have inspired many others, because along the way, many thought that you could not do what you've accomplished in the last 4 years in very difficult circumstances. Don't rest on your laurels, though. Continue to press on, press hard, and show, in particular in the Western Hemisphere, that it is possible for a state-owned E&P company to be efficient and to reduce your cost and to drive up your revenue and your margins whilst increasing production. Continue to inspire the rest of us, because productivity is one of the elements that this country desperately needs, and you are showing it to us. But as I constantly harass your CEO, your chairman, and others on the board, we need the increased production. I appreciate the opportunity to celebrate you here tonight, especially being there at the inception and even deciding in 2018 the name that this company would hold. Do not underestimate why we chose the name Heritage and the part of history of Trinidad and Tobago that you are now privileged to write. Enjoy tonight. You deserve it. I look forward to you having future celebrations. I look forward to you increasing your production safely. I look forward to you continuing to inspire us, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And never forget those who are in need, and never underestimate the importance you play in the future and the current of Trinidad and Tobago. I sincerely thank each and every one of you, and importantly, your families, for the support that they have given. To the chairman, to the board, to the executive management, and importantly, to all of the workers of Heritage. Well done. Congratulations. Keep it up, and I look forward to better things to come from you. Thank you.